In this video, I'm making horror movie posters family friendly. I'm taking these 3 posters and making them funny instead, starting with The Invisible Man. The idea here is to pretend that the VFX didn't work, and the villain is just a guy in a green suit. First up, I'm going to import a photo of a fancy living room, and I'm just gonna give it some distortion for it to look further away. Then I can import and cut out the main character, as well as a guy in a green suit. I still don't like the angle of the background, so it's getting some perspective warp. And of course, I can't just leave this random guy in my poster, so we're gonna replace it with the actual villain. You might be wondering why I'm doing this, and the reason is, last week I saw a terrifying horror film, and I haven't really been able to sleep properly since then. And the way I deal with my problems is using Photoshop. Now, this thing is all over the place, so let's do some little bit of color matching, which is really just making the background and the guy slightly darker, but also making the colors on the main character more neutral. This still looks awkward, and there's only one way to make this better: shadows.
Ah yes, the ancient technique, passed down from designer to designer since the dawn of Adobe. A sacred art known only to those who seek depth, the ultimate weapon against flatness, the very soul of Photoshopping.
Alright, that looks a lot better. For some depth, we might want to add a little bit of blur, both on the background and the villain. As for the title, I'll add the gradient at the bottom and write The Invisible Man in a clean font. You might have noticed that some of the letters in the original poster were bolder than others. And to make our poster funnier, I'll do the same, but make visible bold instead. And after a camera filter, this was a lot of fun. But honestly, I still kinda wanna check under my bed. So let's hope the next one helps. That's it, I'm never gonna sleep again. For this one, I just wanna replace the mom. If she isn't possessed, it shouldn't be scary anymore, right? First, I'm going to cut out the actress that plays Ellie, as well as random hands that are more or less in the right position. Now I'm going to try to roughly mask out the actress so that I don't have to look at this any longer. I do need to remove the possessed woman in the background, and AI isn't cooperating.
What the heck?
Thankfully, the background is black, so I'm gonna paint over it. This looks like trash, so obviously we need to refine the mask and add a lot of shadows. I'm designing this home alone at night, so I'm really glad I'm done with replacing the head. For the ends, I'm just warping them and adding some shadows. I'm also removing the original hand with the stamp tool. While I'm at it, I'll also use the stamp tool to remove the text. Before giving it the title, I want to blend the head and hands better, so I'll use a camera filter to add grain and make it less saturated. And because it's not enough, I'll emulate compression by adding a tiny bit of Gaussian blur, followed by mosaic with the smallest cell size. And the title is now Happy Living Rise. And after a camera filter, it's not done. The shadows on her have been bothering me. You see, because of the way our skin interacts with light, there often is a reddish transition to shadows. So let's add it by setting the blending mode to overlay and painting over the shadows with red. I used to be terrified of Scream movies as a kid, so today we're healing my childhood traumas because Photoshop is cheaper than therapy. First, let's make our Canva black and import a random screen grab from one of the movies. I'm gonna have to cut him out by hand, unfortunately. We have to make it less scary, so let's duplicate the top of his mouth and rotate it. Now, I'll fill out the rest of his mouth until he starts looking like a Bogdanov brother. I puppet warp the eyes wide open and turn them vertically. The nose kinda looks like an upside down heart, so obviously I flipped it. And now he's wearing his heart on his face. We'll come back to the face, but for now let's cut out a hand and an ice cream before giving them contact shadows. And I guess the whole image could use some shadows too.
Nice job, team.
I'm gonna add a slight blur on the ice cream in the hand, but also write the title, Ice Cream. Now let's fix the smile and the eyes by giving them a friendlier shape. Yeah, I still can't sleep, but if you want to be traumatized too, you can watch me turn kid movie posters into horror in this one.